Hey, as you know, Full Metal Furies officially released yesterday, so I would like to show my build. I played pretty much everyone but the sniper. I honestly just didn't like playing as her. Maybe now that I have most of the equipment, I'll try playing as her again, but I pretty much settled with using either the fighter or the tank with the engineer. It seems like one of the more balanced combinations you can use. So this is what I beat the game with. So I used this one for the lifesteal. If you can get to the last part of your square string, then it actually does give you a decent amount of health back. Now the first one's really good too. The first one just has just kind of raw basic damage. And this one gives you, basically makes you skip to the end of your S string. So if it was like Dynasty Warriors, for instance, it would be like only doing charge attacks instead of normal attacks. That's pretty much how this one works. I don't like it too much because you kind of want to have the basic attacks so that you have the enemies and hit stun for longer, and you can let your other stuff cool down. Now this one, I didn't like this one that much, simply because it's very slow. The enemies can get out of it. It doesn't have enough. It doesn't come out fast enough to work with the rest of the hit stun of your regular attacks. So I didn't use this one that much. I mostly use these two. Now for your counter, pretty much all of them are good. But I use this one because it stuns the enemies when you land a successful counter. So you can use that. You can stun somebody and then switch out and play as the engineer and then just get a bunch of damage. It's up to you, really. Now for the leap strike, there's the basic one, which is pretty good because it takes you off the screen for a while. There's this one as well, which is basically kind of a stronger version, or slightly different. Now this one is a combo extender. What this allows you to do is it'll do like a little AoE. I'll go ahead and I'll switch this one really quick. It allows you to do a little AoE and it will suck the enemies in. And what you can do, which is nice, is you can reset your square string doing that. So I'll go practice on the dummy here. And it has like a 2-second cooldown, so it's pretty nice as well. So there's a pretty basic 7-hit combo. There's also a backstep. So this has basically no cooldown at all, but you don't do any offensive damage with it. Now, it's kind of odd to control. It's kind of difficult to control the angle. So I don't like using it too much. The invincibility frames are pretty honest too, so you can't like dodge through stuff you wouldn't be able to normally. Now in terms of her power, for this one the hits extend the duration, so if you're fighting a big stationary target, which is pretty much every single boss in this game, it can be really good because you can maneuver around, and since you can cancel out of your spin into your counter at any time, it actually allows you to stay safe. Like for instance, the final boss, you can pretty much run a circle around him. You can run laps around him with this and do pretty significant damage. So I usually run with this, the second one, the third one, and then either, pretty much any of these work pretty well. It's up to your personal preference. And then this one is pretty good in general. I don't have the last two pieces of equipment for her. Now in terms of the engineer, I use this one. This greatly reduces the range. But it's like a magnum. It does a lot of damage. So as long as you can aim properly, it's really good to pile it on, especially if you have the level up gear or the skill tree stuff to increase your magazine. Now this one burns 100% of your ammo, and foes defeated with it refill ammo. So go ahead and I'll show that really quick. Now for the evade, I use this one because it restores some of your ammo. So if I do this, get 2 shots back. Actually 3 shots. Yeah, you get 3 shots back with an 8 magazine. There's also this one that gives you haste. Now I find haste to be pretty important in this game because it allows you to dodge attacks you couldn't otherwise. And especially with like the engineer, she doesn't really have the you know, defensive options that the fighter and the tank have. So if you're stuck playing as the engineer, if you're trying to revive your ally or your teammate, then this could actually really come in handy because it'll give you enough haste to run away from attacks until your other stuff's off cooldown. Now I'm still missing quite a bit of equipment for her, but I use this one. I increased the range on it as well. But yeah, it's basically the gear I use for them. I'll go ahead and I'll show the tank. Now I'm not sure what this does. I think it just increases your hitbox or your hurt box. I'm not really sure what the point of it is. I normally run with this one. It decreases your health by 25%. But it also permanently hastes you. Sorry, I had to check my mic really quick. So you already have really good defensive options with the tank, but if you have this, then you can dodge attacks and you basically can save your shield meter, or your shield durability. Now for the evade, this one's pretty good, just the basic one. For the guarding, this one makes it so your shield gauge or your durability does not regenerate, but you have a ridiculous amount. It's usually enough to get through a fight unless you're blocking a lot. Now this one gives you a shield, but the problem with it is you can't really control the angle, so I don't really find it terribly useful. And this one gives you more speed, but it's kind of a little bit difficult to control, but you do still have some influence over it. So this one gives you a barrier, but it's not very long, so I haven't really found much of a use for it. So I usually just use the first one here. Well, that's basically the builds I used with the characters to finish the game. If you guys have any questions, you can go ahead and let me know. I have not unlocked the true ending yet. I was kind of waiting for someone to give me a guide, but the developers told me that they didn't want all the stuff spoiled right away, so I kind of just got busy with other stuff, but I did finish the game, and this is pretty much the majority of the equipment. I haven't really played as a sniper much, so I can't comment on her, but I think this is one of the better combinations as far as I know. I'm sure someone will find a better one, and I am still missing some equipment, but this should give you some good guidelines to start the game. Anyway, catch you guys later. Peace.